All right, guys, today we're going to talk about assisted devices. So there's typically two types of assisted devices. There's devices that are going to help push you, maybe add a little bit more strain to things, maybe make things a little bit harder for you. And there's some devices that are going to do the actual opposite of that, where they're going to take off some of those stressors from you to make your day-to-day a little bit easier. Now, it's always important to know how to use these devices and not to become too dependent on them. Of course, the devices that are typically used to make things a little bit harder on you, those are more good for the therapeutic aspect of things, where we can kind of push the head a little bit harder. We can make some therapies a little bit more profound, make your eyes work a little bit more accurately, or add a little bit more strain to them. So those devices are great for us as healthcare providers to put more pressure or strain on our patients. However, when it comes to the devices that relieve some of those tensions or those strains, whether that be color filters, whether that be potentially some prisms, um, whether that be maybe changing the monitor of your computer screen. Now, those devices are absolutely amazing in certain situations. So, if the device allows you to get through your day and you're able to make things more manageable in terms of symptoms, that's great. But you don't want to build a dependence on these things. As humans, we should be able to handle light. We should be able to handle conversations. We should be able to handle social interactions. So if we use or depend on devices that kind of take away some of these stimulations, if you will, that is good for the time being, but again, we don't want to depend on those. So it comes back to that same principle when you're recovering from a head trauma. After that first 24 to 48 hours, you want to kind of try to put yourself back in those stressful environments again. We want to try to push the head to get better. We don't want to try to alleviate things so the brain actually doesn't have to push at all. So again, just keep in mind that even though it might be helpful right now, it's not necessarily a good long-term goal. You do want to try to keep pushing yourself to be able to function independently of those devices.